Hello everybody, welcome to episode 4, it is now, of Hello Again with me, Isabelle Broom, called after my book, out now, just saying. I'm joined today by Victoria Walters, who writes beautiful women's fiction full of love and hope and family and goodies and baddies sometimes, set in Scotland, most recently, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk about all sorts of things: the publishing process, digital versus paperback, inspiration, lockdown, cats. So yeah, hang out. Thanks for coming on, Vicky. How are you today?
For me, I'm okay. It's very rainy here, but I'm okay.
I must just say, just before we started recording, an earwig crawled out of my keyboard and I screamed my head off. So poor Vicky, probably a bit shell-shocked. I was like, would have been a really attractive thing for you all to see, thankfully. Anyway, let's talk about your most recent book series first, the Glendale series. Do you want to tell us a bit about those?
My pops as well.
Yes, there they are.
Book 2.
And book 3 is coming in September. Yes,
that's right. Yes, yeah. So the Glendale Hall series is set around a quite posh family estate in the Scottish Highlands.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fictional village of Glendale, and it's really a story of family and community. The first book is about a woman who comes back to Glendale after 10 years living away from her family in London with her daughter, and it's just about how she kind of reconnects with her family and the village, and there's romance in it too. They won't reveal who with
a nice Scottish man.
A nice Scottish man, yes. There's lots of nice Scottish men in it. And book 2 is about her friend from London who comes to stay in Glendale. And in book 2, there is a rather attractive minister, if anybody would like to read about that.
Oh, well, I think after Fleabag, we're all a bit hot.
Exactly.
Hot priest.
Exactly. Hot priest trademark.
It's like a new untapped thing that has just come to the fore, hasn't it?
It is, I know, yeah. So, yeah. If I can cash in on that, I'm happy to.
Where did the idea come from to sort of create this place, and why did you pick Scotland?
I wanted to write a Christmas book because I hadn't written a Christmas book before, and I thought, really, if you're going to write a Christmas book, you need some snow. Where is it guaranteed to snow at Christmas? Scottish Highlands. So yeah, that's really why I picked Scotland. And I thought also, yeah, and also it just like conveys kind of really cozy atmosphere. You can have lots of log fires and rugged countryside and just lots of lovely Christmas things, and everyone can just drink hot chocolate all the time. So that's really why I set it there. I'm not sure what really inspired it. I just really wanted to tell a story of like a single mother who comes home for Christmas. Some people have said it reminds them a bit of Gilmore Girls, which I have watched, so maybe that sort of seeped in there as well. But yeah, I just had I also had
Gilmore Girls meets Hamish Macbeth straplines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I just had this kind of, I wanted to have the love interest be somebody that you used to know and then you've met again, and because I like that as an idea of romance, someone that you used to know.
Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever sort of met up with someone from your school years and been like, "Oh, hello, why didn't I notice you back in the day?"
No, I don't think I have.
I have, and it's a mistake.
Have you?
It's a mistake. Don't believe the butterfly. No. Yeah, there's a reason you're not interested in them back then, because you just shouldn't be.
Oh wow. There is a story there that I kind of want to ask you about. No, I haven't. Yes. But which is weird because I still live in the town I went to school in, so perhaps he is hiding somewhere.
It could happen. Yeah, that's something. I love it when people say, there's a statistic, isn't there, that they say that by the age of 25, you've already met the person you're going to marry. You just don't know it yet, which is quite depressing if I think back.
And mine's been hiding for like 10 years.
I wonder where mine is. Somewhere in the world.
Is this why we write romance? Because we have none in our lives.
Could be. I tend to write the men that I want to meet and the men that I want to fall in love with at that time of writing. That's why they're always so different, because I don't think I have a type. I just have a type for the time being, which is probably going wrong.
Maybe. I definitely have
changed my mind all the time.
For the sexy minister in my book, definitely.
Yes. It really depends on what I've been watching as well. So when I watched Lovesick, I wanted someone exactly like Johnny Flynn in Lovesick, who was all like sad eyes and blonde hair and a bit of that. But then I watched White Lines and I'm like, I want to marry Boxer, that's it. And he's
you're just fickle. You're just fickle.
No, we're just inclusive, that's what we are. Oh dear. So was it always your dream to be a writer? Right from...
I think so, yeah. I mean, I'm an only child, so I grew up just really in a world of books, and books have always been there like through my whole life. So definitely I always kind of had that dream, but I think when I was younger I just thought it's impossible, like no one becomes an author. So you try different things and then it just keeps calling you back, I think. Is that how it was for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was always my creative outlet. So if I was frustrated or happy or whatever it might be, it was writing that I sort of turned to express that. And I think I would still write even if I wasn't an author, because it's the way that I sort of make sense of things and the way that I convey my emotions. I'm not very good at speaking about things like that, but I find it easier to write it down. So.
Yeah, definitely. No,
but
definitely.
I think when
I used to write. Yeah, I used to write stories.
Of social media and Twitter in particular, and authors just seemed like these people that were just superstars. Really, you couldn't, unless you wrote them an actual letter, you couldn't really have that access. And I think it's nice now that readers can come and speak to us and talk to us on a one-to-one basis about how they've connected with our books and things like that, which is something.
Yeah, definitely. That's my favourite part of it, I think, is like when you get a message from someone who says, I really loved your book, and you're just like, thanks.
Yeah, it makes all those hours of spending time in a room alone worthwhile, I think. And sometimes it's amazing how, I think sometimes people can find things in the book that you didn't even realise were in there, like subconsciously they obviously were, because it was something that you've been through and experienced, but you didn't sit down and say, right, I'm going to write about feelings of this.
Yeah, I think part of yourself slips into the books, like even if you don't think it does. I think it does. Yeah.
The magic of book writing.
We won't tell you which bits.
People always ask me to kind of describe what it's like how do you sit down and write a book? And it's the easiest yet most difficult question that could be asked, because you can't really explain it other than you sit down and you put your hands on the keyboard, or you pick up the pen or whatever you might do, or you start speaking.
Yeah,
a story comes through you. It happens, and it does feel like magic.
Yeah, it's like when people ask, what inspired, how did you come up with this idea? And sometimes I just feel like saying, I just did, because I don't know how I did. It just came to me. It's really hard to kind of put it into words, I think.
Yeah, I think the more stories you read and the more stories you hear, and because I always think, like, what's the thing that when you get together with your group of friends, what do you talk about? You don't really talk about politics and recipes and stuff like that as much as you talk about what's going on in their lives and relationships. And it is relationships and people that are the kind of common factor for us all. And I think that's all a book is, really, is creating that, fictional characters doing the sort of things that would happen to anyone. Well, maybe not anyone. Not in the murder genre.
Sometimes
even in the romance
life is stranger, isn't it? Even like sometimes I read a story in the news or something, and I'm like, if I put that in a book, everyone will be like, oh, that's so unrealistic. It's crazy.
It has to feel authentic, doesn't it? Or at least it has to feel like it's possible.
Yeah,
certainly in romantic fiction, although I don't know, one of my favorite books is a romance set around a time travel story, so
it can happen.
I think you can suspend belief, then
I think, again, like you say, if the characters are real and the connection between them is real, it kind of doesn't matter the setting, because that's what you invest in.
That's true. That's very true. So what's your We were talking about this before, weren't we? Writing career highlights. It is really difficult, actually.
It's really difficult because sort of just getting the book deal was kind of a massive, just, that feels like, it feels like the career is the highlight in a way.
Yeah.
I think coming home to Glendale Hall has been a kind of turning point for my career, because before that, I maybe didn't feel, I think that book made me feel like I am an author now, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
I think because it's, you know, it's been my biggest seller, and also it's been the book that I received the most messages about, and I really felt like a sort of love for it.
Yeah.
And I love it as well. So I think that was kind of a highlight, really.
Well, the fact that it's become a series, because I often get asked about sequels, and I'm like, well, I've kind of told that person's story at that time of their life, and I've moved on. And I didn't
plan it as a series at all. My publisher was just like, everybody loves Glendale, can we do another story?
Yeah.
And at first I sort of panicked a bit, and I was like, but I told the story, like,
yeah.
what do I do? But then straight away I thought of her friend in London, and her story came like really easily, so that was good.
Did you find it,
and now I just love writing about these characters.
Did you find it, when you started to plan the second book, was it easier than going in cold because you had your kind of background?
Yeah, it was easier to write because I already had the setting and the characters, and it was just really nice to kind of come back and see where they all, like, what they're all doing. And it was nice to bring somebody new into it. Yeah. And then book 3 is about Heather, who is the best friend of the character in the first book. So she's been there in the background throughout the first 2 books, and now she's getting her own book.
I love it. I love it when books do that and they kind of rotate around.
Yeah, but again, I was nervous because I thought, if I'd have known I was going to do a book about her, maybe I wouldn't have written her story quite so fully. You see what I mean? But then I thought, actually, it's quite a good place to sort of take on someone's story when you think they've already got the happy ever after, but when you start the book you realise actually she doesn't feel she has.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
intriguing. I like it.
And this one's set on a farm, which is really fun to write.
Are there loads of animals?
Animals, yay!
Is there a rooster? You know,
there's chickens. There isn't a rooster.
I've formed an attachment with a rooster, so I'm trying to plan a book where I can have a rooster character. I think there's going to have to be.
Formed an attachment to a rooster.
Well, I saved him from the road, and then he came to my house the next day and was sort of wandering around. So I fed him, and that was that. And now he comes at 6:15 in the morning, throws under the window.
Where does he live, or is he wild?
Farm next door. But the farmer's like, he's got about 30 roosters, and they drive him mad. And he's like, he doesn't care.
Take him, just take him.
I think he thinks I'm completely insane. I'm like, I'm in love with one of your roosters, and he just sort of looks at me like that. Okay.
That really reminds me of one of the characters on the farm. Is this older kind of grumpy man who looks at the main character like she's crazy.
Farmers are always, like, in my experience, very sort of like, they've seen it all. No, they're very unflappable.
Yeah, so that's it. That's the story, really. What happens when this woman who was a librarian gets transported onto a farm because she's fallen in love with a farmer. And so, it was so much fun to write. Speaking
of farm, well, actually, it's not a link from farmers at all. But I wanted to talk to you about how you've been finding lockdown generally, but primarily because your Instagram is so beautiful, and you always have these beautiful nails, which I definitely do not have. I mean, mine are just bitten down, plain. Look, everybody, show us your nails again. What colour are they today? Silver. Oh, sparkly.
Ring.
Is that you, or do you have a friend who's in your bubble who is a manicurist?
No, it's all me.
Wow.
Yeah. They're my lateral nails, and I used to years ago have like false nails, but I stopped probably like 4 years ago now. So so it was okay in lockdown. I was okay because I had my nails stuff. Although one day I did run out of nail varnish remover and there was panic.
Tesco.
I was like, where can I go to get one? Is this an essential shop?
The best way to get a dog out of a room, if you don't want the dog in the room with you, just open the nail varnish remover lid and they're like,
oh wow.
They slink off.
Yeah, my cat sometimes sort of sits near me and is like,
yeah, no. They have that thing where they just start rubbing their face and they're like, it's on me, it's on me.
Yeah. So, but yes, if you look closely, you can see my right hand nails are a lot shorter because of typing and doing stuff.
Yes, that's my excuse as well. My nails are terrible because I've been such hard worker throughout lockdown.
When we were in lockdown, it's like that's all there was to do. So
yeah. How's your concentration been? I mean, are you writing at the moment, or are you?
It was difficult because I was in the middle of writing the third Glendale book when we went into lockdown. And it was really interesting because I'd handed in my notice. I used to work part-time at Waterstones and it was coming up to my final week and I had a leaving due planned and everything. And then we went into lockdown. So I left Waterstones without saying goodbye to anyone or anything. So that was really weird. And I sort of had all these plans. So I thought, if I'm going to be a full-time writer, I don't want to become like a recluse or anything. Like maybe I need to join some stuff, find some local friends. Then it was like, oh no, hang on, we're in lockdown. You've got to be a recluse.
Yeah. It's kind of a gift and a curse at the same time.
Exactly, yeah. So I was in the middle of writing the third Glendale book and I had a deadline. So I had to do it. But it was, there was moments where it was difficult because I was like constantly scrolling on my phone, like what's going on in the world. But hopefully it's all right.
It's one of those horrible situations, wasn't it, where you feel like you need to keep checking in, but there's nothing you can do. You feel utterly powerless and you don't know what the future looks like. And you think,
no, so crazy. Like for when you had to like go to Tesco's, it was like, I'm really scared to be here. And it's a really weird time. But I think it was good to have writing. Like I was glad I had Glendale to like escape to. I think that did help me.
Yeah.
Did you find that?
Definitely, yeah. And because I'm sort of trying to, because I write escapist fiction, I haven't been able to escape into my setting yet.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of sort of deep dive reading into Croatia and watching travel logs and vlogs, and so like whole afternoons where I'm just completely absorbed, which has felt a little bit like not being here, which is nice.
Yeah.
But life is still weirdly busy, even though I'm not kind of going in and out of London all the time working. I'm still filling the days with little bits here and there, like, great things like this. But that's where lockdown's really been good, I think, because it's allowed us to have a bit more time to reflect, to think about what's important, what we really want to do, like to-do lists. Everybody's going crazy for DIY. Garden centres are booming. It's like people, I think, they might not admit it, but liked the excuse to be at home and to actually enjoy where they live, because everybody pays such a lot of money, don't they, to live where they live, and then they're barely there because there is
I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I feel like I've been training for lockdown all my life. Like I've never really been that socially kind of that into going out all the time. So for me it hasn't been too bad, and as I'm sort of doing a job where I work from home anyway, that's okay. But yeah, it's starting to get a bit weird now, like but things are starting to open up again, so that's good.
Julius has come to say hello again.
Hello.
Bringing another earwig up here. I think the first earwig came up on the dog. I said, let's say hello to Julius, and then next thing I know, it's a creature.
So cute.
Here he is. He's had a haircut. It was the budget would only allow for my hair to be cut or his hair to be cut, and his knee was greater than mine. Which tells you how bad it was.
Yours looks nice.
Mine's at that stage where it's starting to flick up at the ends, even though I've blow dried it. So it's.
I thought, well, I'm decided to grow mine, so I just thought. Thing is, I live with my mum, who's a hairdresser, so it didn't really affect me lockdown. But I thought, as I'm not seeing anyone, I might just start growing it anyway. So we'll see.
You should open a little salon. Your mum can do the hair, you can do the nails. People can read your books while they're waiting.
I don't think I'm very good at doing nails. I think I just like draw it all over your finger or something.
It's difficult when it's someone else. Sorry. Whoa.
Ooh.
All sorts of disasters are happening now because I've allowed the dog up here. Never tried to do any sort of recording with dogs or
He wants his own show, that's what it is.
He just wants his own show. So cheeky. Completely lost where I am now.
Oh no.
Hang on. No, I haven't. Whoa. Okay. On the subject of dogs, let's talk about Harry. Those of you who don't follow Victoria on Instagram, you should, because of the beautiful nails and the beautiful tea and books, but also because of Harry the cat. And he's not in the room now, is he? You've shut him outside. Wisely.
He's scratching quite madly on his scratching post. I thought maybe I'll shut him out. Yeah. Yes, Harry, yeah. He's a very naughty cat, to be honest. He's an indoor cat, so he just kind of rules that, which I know is probably my fault, but yeah, he's absolutely loved lockdown because he hates people. If anyone comes to the house, he gets really angry. And there's actually, if you ever come to my house, there's a sign on the door saying beware of the cat by the letterbox, because he will go for you if you put something through the door.
Really? Wow.
He jumps up, he thinks it's a game, and he jumps up and he tries to get your hands and he tries to take the post from you.
Oh, wow. I like him.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Yeah, he's very naughty. And he's huge as well. He's really big. So he's quite menacing sometimes.
Is he a good writing companion, or does he get a bit like walking across the keyboard when he wants your attention?
Actually, he rarely comes on my desk. I'm not really sure why. He likes to sit behind me. I don't know if you probably can't see that. There's a window here. He likes to lay on the windowsill because we face the front, so to keep an eye on people walking past, make sure they're not coming to the house. But then in the back garden at the moment, there's 2 blackbirds. I think they're blackbirds. I'm not very good at birds. Building a nest, and they're really noisy, like squawking all the time. So he's just like transfixed by them. So he's just leaving me alone at the moment.
He's like, this is my house. This is my home. What are you doing?
Oh, he gets so angry. And there's a cat that lives opposite who like paces around the house just to wind him up. He goes mad. I have to move out the way sometimes because I think he might go for me because he's so angry.
It's a similar situation. The farm next door, they've got 2 massive dogs. They're huge.
Oh God.
My 2 are quite small, and they come and they sniff under the door downstairs, and this one just jumps up and down and barking his head off, going, "Rah!"
Go away, leave me alone, it's my house.
It's a complete whim.
But yeah, I mean, he takes over the whole bed because he's so big. Like last night, he just suddenly came, just flopped, and he lays horizontally across the double bed. So I wake up and I'm like against the wall like this, and he's just spread out.
That's what they do. They take over. Julius goes under the duvet in my bed. I'd love to be one of those people that's like, no, the dog sleeps downstairs in the kitchen. That was never going to happen.
Yeah, it's weird with dogs, isn't it? I think maybe less people, I don't know. Cats, maybe people seem to have on their bed more. I don't know.
Maybe because I live alone, I think I like having them to cuddle.
Yeah, no, I'd be hopeless with a dog. I'd be just like, yes, cuddle me all the time, please.
Exactly.
That's the only thing with cats. I can't make him cuddle me. He'll only do it if he wants to.
That probably means more though, because dogs are so needy.
Oh,
please, will you be my best friend? Can we be best friends? Someone's just met, literally just met.
And I'm there saying to Harry, "Do you love me?" And he just goes back to me. I'm like, okay.
Oh dear, we should all be a bit more dog and a bit more cat.
Yeah.
Would you say dogs or cats?
Cat. I mean, I've never had a dog, so for me, cats. But I mean, I like the idea of a dog, but I'm also kind of a bit lazy. So the thought of having to always walk them puts me off.
Play games.
I've tried to get out for a daily walk during lockdown, but I still think I would struggle. Like on a cold, rainy winter's day, I'd be like, oh no.
Yeah, it is. It can be pretty bleak actually. Neither of mine like the rain as well. So yesterday we just didn't go out. Like I took them into town in the morning, but we didn't go for a proper romp.
Oh, okay.
But tomorrow's beach day, so rain.
Yes,
come to the beach.
That'll be fun.
Yes. We've reached the quickfire round, which is the bit at the end. I love the quickfire round. I could do quickfire all day. Or mallet. Do you remember Mallet's mallet? I used to be so jealous. I used to always want to be hit with a mallet by Timmy Mallet. Weirdly.
Oh my God, Timmy Mallet was crazy.
I wanted to go in Funhouse.
We're in our age with Timmy Mallet, aren't we? I don't know.
No. I wanted to go in Funhouse. I wanted to, like, be hit in the head by Timmy Mallet. And I wanted to be in the audience at Top of the Pops. And I only did the third one.
I would have been hopeless on Funhouse because I'm very clumsy. So I think I've just, like, fallen over the whole way around.
I did It's a Knockout once. It wasn't like a televised one. It was just a local one, but it was so much fun. When I was living in Cambridge, and we did it I worked for a cinema for years, and we had a big cinema team that went and did it for charity. But it was like just running up inflatables and falling into water and stuff. It was really fun. Maybe I should have the No, that's different. I watch SAS Who Dares Wins, and I'm like, I could do that. No, I couldn't. I'd last less than a minute.
I'm not athletically minded at all. That's why I'm a writer.
Well, yeah, exactly. This is the problem with being a writer. Like, just a lot of sitting, isn't there? Right, anyway, I digressed. We've gone off from quickfire. Okay, I'm going to do a drum roll, as is tradition.
Okay. I'm ready.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Winter. Why winter?
Yeah. As we've discussed, I just like being inside and getting cozy. I love Christmas, so it has to be winter. But to be honest, my favourite season is autumn.
Yeah.
To be difficult.
No, I love autumn. You get the best colours.
Yeah.
Definitely. And you get that nice sort of like, oh, the nights are starting to turn in feeling.
Yes. And you get to wear pretty scarves, and yeah, it's nice.
And after like a long summer of not knowing what to wear, you can then put jeans on again, which is always a good time. I think.
Exactly, yeah.
Because it's cold.
Yeah.
Standard. Bags or shoes?
Bags, because I have horribly wide feet, and so I rarely find shoes that fit me that are nice. So bags.
I'm the same. I don't really have bags, but I don't like shoes because I don't like my feet. I like shoes, but I don't like my feet in shoes.
Yeah, I have to get wide fitting, and they're never as nice.
Sweet or savoury?
This is a tricky one. I'm gonna say sweet. I mean, I do like cookies, so we'll go sweet.
And you like a hot chocolate? Are you a sugar and tea person?
No.
Oh, see.
Oh, yeah. But I am sort of, if I have a cup of tea in the afternoon, I have to have a chocolate biscuit with it.
That's fair enough. That's a snack.
Which is bad.
That's the sugar, sure.
I live defeats not having sugar in my tea, but.
Okay, long haul adventure or cozy staycation?
I think we probably can all guess my answer is cozy staycation.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. Although I have really enjoyed being at home and appreciating it.
That's good.
I am absolutely desperate to go abroad again. Like,
when do you think you will go again?
As soon as they open flight routes to Croatia for the Brits. I'm on the first one. And actually, I know some people that are in Barcelona at the moment. They just went for a holiday, and they're out, eating restaurants, walking around, going to the beach. Apparently, the beach is really quiet there, which never happens in Barcelona. So it's nice to see, because I don't know. Yeah, it's weird to even think of it, but people are just carrying on, aren't they? As people will.
Yeah.
But yeah, long haul is a little bit more scary because after being stuck, I'm not sure if I'd want to go through that again. It's quite expensive.
Oh yeah, because you were stuck in New Zealand, weren't you? Yeah.
That's as far away as you can be stuck from England. But
to
Europe and
that's it. Yeah.
Within 4 hours, maybe, I think, for the time being.
No, I'm quite boring when it comes to travel. I'm just I'm a home person, I think. So this hasn't been too grueling for me, which is good.
That is good. And the last quickfire is world peace or lottery jackpot win?
I feel like I should say world peace, but I also kind of want the lottery jackpot win.
Help towards world peace if you had the lottery jackpot.
Yeah, if I won the lottery, I would donate some towards world peace, whatever that would be. Yeah. No, I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? To be honest, I never pay the lottery, so it's never going to happen.
I started to play the lottery, and then I read Adele Park's book. Have you read her latest, Just My Luck?
No.
It's about a syndicate of 3 couples that win the jackpot in the lottery, and about how their lives completely unravel. And it's so awful. Well, not awful. It's an amazing book, but what happens is so awful that actually has put me off. I'm like, God, but money really does make people go mad.
I'm not going to lie, I would like a best-selling book and a film deal with lots of money.
Netflix deal
would be nice. Yeah. I don't know if you get much money for Netflix though, do you? I don't know. I wouldn't care, to be fair. I'd just be like, yeah, please film Glendale.
I don't know about you, but the further you go through your writing career, your sort of expectation goalposts keep shifting. So at the beginning, you think, well, I just want to have a book published. I don't care if only 5 people buy it, and I just want to hold a book in my hands. And you get to that point, and it's incredible. And then you think, well, it'd be quite nice to sell 10,000 copies. It'd be quite nice to sell 20,000. It'd be quite nice to, have an option or sell into another territory abroad. Or it just constantly keeps changing, doesn't it? And it's not just greedy. It's just that's the way the industry works. And
yeah, but in a way that's good, because at least then you've always got like a challenge and an ambition there. Otherwise, you might get a bit like, oh, why am I still writing books if it's just the same thing all the time? I think it's good to have goals. I mean, I'm not sure I'll ever reach any of those ones you just listed.
No. But I think they are realistic sort of things to aim for, aren't they? They're not completely, like film rights are obviously a bit out there, but it does happen. And it happens
yeah. And it's something that's completely out of our control. Like, we have no control over that unless you were lucky enough to meet Reese Witherspoon and you could hand her your book. But apart from that, it's in the lap of the gods, that one, isn't it? I think all we can do is write the best stories that we can.
Yeah.
And then you kind of hope that those good things will come in the end. If readers really like your stories, they'll keep coming back, and hopefully they'll tell their friends, and it'll grow and grow.
I have a post-it that I stick on my
That's the dream.
Like when I'm writing, it just says, just write the book, Broom, because that's my job.
I love that.
It's not my job.
I read have you ever read the book The Secret, which is about like the law of attraction?
Yes.
And how you should pin up, maybe we should pin up by our desks all those goals, and then
realistic,
then they'll happen. Yeah,
you're supposed to write a check, aren't you, for the amount that you want and carry it around with you in your purse.
No, yeah. So I read the book and I was like, oh my gosh, I should do it, and then I just couldn't quite believe in it enough to do it, which is half the problem.
I sometimes really believe that I'm going to win the lottery, and I still don't, so I don't think it works. But I suppose in a way we have won a mini lottery by writing for a living, because it is
we are really lucky.
Very lucky.
And I've definitely found that in lockdown, because you've seen so many people who are worried about their jobs, and or people that are on furlough and didn't know what to do with themselves, and so it's been really nice to know that like our job is still there, fingers crossed, if people still want to keep reading our books.
And actually I think a lot of people have rediscovered their love of reading in lockdown, because
I've had so many more messages from readers. Have you?
Yeah.
More than I've ever had before, saying, oh, I've just discovered reading again. I've read your book and I loved it. I had a message from a nurse who said it got her through some really hard shifts. I actually cried when I read that. I was like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you, not thank me. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, God. No, we are lucky. It's a good positive way to end the chat.
Yay.
Books rule. Doesn't matter about lockdown, because lockdown will finish and there will still be books. There'll be more.
There will always be books, definitely. Yeah.
Good. See, I like this positivity. Yes.
Good.
For the rest of the day. So remind everybody of your social handles, please, and your most recent books that they can buy.
Okay, so the Glendale series, we've got Coming Home to Glendale Hall, New Beginnings at Glendale Hall, and the next one's out in September. Although they are a series, you can read them all separately. It's just that the characters and settings link up, so whichever way you want to read it, really. And yeah, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Can't get rid of me. I'm everywhere.
Read her books, and also please read my book.
Yes. Definitely. Our books are like the same kind of colours, so we go nicely.
I feel like blue is
the key.
On my bookcase of a billion books, there's a lot of blue.
I think blue is very popular. I don't know why. Maybe it's kind of soothing colour.
Yes, it is very soothing. It is soothing, which we all need.
Our books are soothing.
They are soothing, but also amazing.
Yeah. Soothing for the soul. You can only get through lockdown if you read our books.
Basically, yeah. It's just a fact, sorry. Watch out for earwigs, everybody. Until next week. I feel like it's still in the room, even though it's not.
No.
Right.
Behind you.
I'm going to do a wave.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you soon.